Dear Ojozi, are you a woman in leadership? Leadership isn't a walk in the park. That's the reason why I strongly advise that, you take lessons from the greatest leader. Who can tell me who the greatest leader is? God. Honestly, there's nobody greater than him. He knows all of the things. He knows the right path to take. He knows how to lead. He knows the paths that you should walk in. He sees tomorrow, even from today. None of your leaders know what tomorrow brings. Do you know why David is seen and perceived and termed as one of the greatest kings in the Bible? It's because he asked for direction from the greatest leader, and that's God. There's a very big difference from David and Saul. Read 1 Samuel to get all the gist anyways. David would always ask God for direction. He will ask God for everything. He led the Israelites, but every time he will go back to God and say, should I walk this way? Should I do this? Should I kill these people? Should I fight these people? And then there was Saul who made all the decisions himself. Saul who would want to work and, just decide, I think it's okay for me to take right instead of take left. But then there's David who will say, Lord, should I take right or should I take left? We don't even want to talk about people like Joshua who never lost a battle. Do you know what it is to fight battles and never lose one? All because the greatest leader is your mentor. I'm going to be sharing with you a few attributes of women in leadership. The very first attribute of a leader or a woman in leadership is emotional intelligence. Women are perceived as very emotional beings. And one of the attributes that very strong women or women who are very good leaders have is emotional intelligence. I think a lot of times I love to call it emotional regulation. A woman who knows when to cry, when to laugh, when to eat, when to smile, when to scold you in love. I added in love because sometimes we scold and it's not in love. But yes, a woman who wears emotional intelligence as a backpack is a solid leader. The second attribute is empathy and compassion. Empathy is very important, especially as a woman. It's such a feminine attribute. One of the attributes that make you stand out from the men, because of course there are men in leadership, you know that. But as a woman in leadership, compassion and empathy is something that you bring to the table and it changes the game. A woman who can be firm but kind. A woman who can scold you but in love. A woman who will make solid decisions but with wisdom. The third attribute is resilience. Oh my God. I love how women are, very resilient. Like they would literally go through fire. A woman who goes through labor. Women go through labor and they still come out smiling. I remember the first time that I saw, experience childbirth. I was very opportune to see my mom or experience my mom have my last brother. And I could not believe that she went through that and she was still smiling when she saw me. Like, how did you smile through that? I will never. Because I saw my mom go through labor. I saw her have the baby. And then when she came out, she was like, oh, are you guys okay? I'm like, from where to where? It was such a great attribute to have. And most women in leadership always have that. Another attribute to have is learn to be adaptable. Women know how to adapt to any situation. That's why you pick a woman from here and take her here, and she'll still come back here. She would adapt here and still learn how to get back here. So if you're a woman in leadership, you would learn how to adapt to situations. Another thing is mentorship. I was saying to someone the other day that I feel like one of the reasons why women are taking over every single industry is because there are so many mentors. Have you seen how many programs women have in a year? Financial program, emotional program, etiquette program. We have a lot. But I feel like men lack mentors. One of the reasons why women in leadership thrive is because they go ahead of us. They learn these things and they come back and mentor the women who are behind them so that they can also run. Women are very solid. So if you're a woman in leadership, you should start mentoring. Women have strong work ethics. I wasn't expecting less. From a multitasker? Of course, yes. Women have problem solving skills. I don't think that, we can take that away from women. A woman will be standing, cooking, thinking of how she'll pick her child from school, thinking of how her husband is going to get through his business, thinking of how she's going to start a new business and thrive in it. My goodness. Women always bring solutions to the table. These are attributes of women in leadership. So if you know that you have these attributes, well, there are more, but you have made like most of these attributes, trust me, there is definitely something for you at the table. And I'm very sure that there's something at the table for all of us. Click the subscribe button and see you next.